Hello my friends and welcome back to the Meerkat Musings YouTube channel. I'm your host Ben with the first video for a little while actually. I've been somewhat busy, somewhat kind of not pulled 6 ways from Sunday necessarily, but I've kind of just felt, I don't know, I can't explain it. I haven't really felt up for like kind of this kind of thing for a little while, but I thought to myself, you know what, I have a window of opportunity with which to do a little video, and I just thought I will do a little video, and I will just reference a few things which have been going on in recent times, and forgive me if I go over ground I've already covered, but I tend to do that quite a lot. So where to begin? Early May has been quite interesting so far here in merry old England. We had some local elections the other week, which served up the fairly predictable result that the Tories were going to get absolutely battered, which in my view, of course, is the right outcome. I think they, after 14 years of misery, they kind of deserved the battering that they got, and I, for one, am quite glad to see that they foundered and floundered quite badly. Amazingly, my immediate local area actually voted in Labour councillors, which, considering the historical trend to go with the Tories in my area, is progress in my view, and I'm really, really pleased that at the very least my postcode area, if you like, has kicked the Tories to the curb. So that's, in my view, major progress and a major sign of how the Tories have fallen. But my concern is that realistically the Tories are losing the next election rather than Labour are winning it. Although, to give Labour their due, they have recently announced policies far more in keeping with what I think Labour should be doing, such as, for example, nationalising the railways and taking at least some steps towards taking energy and water out of private control. These are the sort of things that I think, for the benefit of the public, need to happen, and Labour have started to move in that direction slightly, which it's about time we had some definitive ideas and policies along those lines, and it's nice to finally have that happening. So I, for one, am quite pleased at some of that, although I still think more could be done. For example, one of the things I think that really, really needs to happen is we need to have a genuine, proper resistance to Brexit, which I think is a shambolic idea, and I think that's been proven over the last few years. But I don't know if we can count upon Labour saying, rejoin anytime soon, because they want to try and get the backing of Brexit voters. So who knows how that goes. But it all sort of bodes well for the general election, albeit there are uncertainties and caveats, as there always are. But nonetheless, hopefully that's a mark of progress. Another mark of progress in general terms has been the weather in the UK, which has been gradually, I think, trying to get a little bit better than it has been. We've had a fair bit of rain of late, but we've also began to see slightly sunnier conditions here in the UK. It's long overdue in my view, but May is gradually beginning to crank up the temperature a little bit. We're getting more in the way of blue skies, slightly nicer, more pleasant conditions. With that does come consequences, shall we say, namely I had to do the gardening the other day, which I absolutely loathe and despise. I hate doing gardening. One of the reasons for that is our lawnmower is awful. It's horrendous. My plan is definitely for next month, come what may, it's going. And I'm getting a new lawnmower that is going to be hopefully a damn sight better. Another complication is that the garden waste collection in my area, which was normally a free of charge service paid for via council tax, became a chargeable extra via the council last year. And quite frankly, I resent sort of having to pay extra for a service that was previously provided under the guise of my council tax. But then again, it's a council run by the Tories, and one of the things the Tories have always been is, greed central. So big surprise there. But I'm going to have to bite that bullet, I think, get the grass collected, get a new lawnmower, and then hopefully going forward, cutting the grass will not be quite such a pain in the grass. So we've had some fun and games with all of that. We've also had, I spoke about how the weather is getting nicer. We did, however, have the really unusual experience a few nights back of one of the most epic thunderstorms that I can remember for a very long time. The lightning in particular was tremendously impressive. It was just constant flashes of lightning that were, even through our thick black curtains, were lighting up the house. It was amazing. It kept us awake almost all night, but it was amazing to witness. And I can't really begin to say how bloody impressive it was. It was, in one sense, it was kind of beautiful, really. I don't particularly want to be in it, of course. At one point, I did have to go and rescue my cat from it because it was raining quite heavily as well. But yeah, haven't seen anything like that for a long time. Thunderstorms can be kind of nice. They can be kind of satisfying in one sense. As long as you get to witness them from a safe distance, you're not caught in them, they can be a real pleasure to bear witness to. And maybe that kind of clearing of the air has helped give rise to this trend of brighter skies and slightly better conditions. It's still a little bit inconsistent, where we're in spring and things tend to improve in spring, but we've still had our cloudier days, we've still had our rain. The evenings are still quite cool at the moment, but the days are starting to get better. As I say, it's a trend. We're moving through May. As we get towards the end of May and we hit June, hopefully it'll be nicer still, and hopefully this is something that will carry on. And with luck, we'll get a good, decent summer, something that we can all kind of enjoy, a bit of sunshine, which I think is vital really to happiness more than anything else, and blue skies and all the things that you want out of a good, long, hot summer. We shall see, because Britain's weather doesn't always tend to give us that which we crave, but we shall see. Beyond all of that, what else is going on? Well, I may have already mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again anyway. I have submitted my sequel to The Awakening to my publisher, and I have also, subsequently to that, both received and returned the updated contract relating to the sequel, which shall be called The Schism, and that is now in the works, so to speak. It's in the queue to undergo the editing process and all of that. I don't yet have any remote clue as to when this will be published. My gut would tell me probably some stage next year, but who knows, perhaps it could yet be at some point this year. The editing process, a lot of it will depend upon me, of course, and how quickly I can get through that, but it's also going to be a question of how quickly the publishers can get to it as well, because they will, of course, have other projects in the queue, and so my gut tells me you'll be seeing that at some point next year, but who knows? Watch this space, basically. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that one. So, yeah, we have that in the works. Writing wise, I've made some tentative steps towards following up with my self-published venture of Fontana and Istalor, and my daughter still wants me to write this book about dragons, which I'm not particularly confident about, but I have made some tentative steps in that direction as well. And that's kind of where I'm at with writing. My head keeps every now and then turning towards the third part of my Chon If saga, but it's a bit early to be thinking about the sequel to the Schism just yet, when that's not even released yet. But I have nonetheless been mulling things over with that, as it were. So lots on the boil in terms of writing. In terms of the day job, because there's no escaping the fact that I have a primary career, that's going reasonably well, to be fair. It was quite a busy April for me in some respects. Don't know what May's going to bring. It's difficult to say really what one month will bring to the next. All I can do is just sort of forge ahead really with customers and queries, and just do the right thing really by each and every person who comes through that door. There are occasions and days where it's more of a chore than others. There are days when you get up and you feel tired, or you maybe feel a bit run down, and you just, there are days where you're just not in the mood. There are days when it can be query central, an issue with a tap or an issue with a toilet seat, and again, you don't necessarily always want bitty days like that, but it's part and parcel of the job. It happens. You just have to deal with it and just forge ahead really as best you can, and just basically kind of like do the day job to the best of your abilities, which is all I can ever try to do. And all I would say of each and every person really is do the best that you can do. Try to remember that you haven't got to do everything yourself. That's the lesson that I sometimes need to learn, because I'll sometimes have it in my head that I need to do every last task myself, but you don't. You don't need to be doing everything on your own. That's why we work as a team. That's why there's more than one of us. And it's a worthwhile lesson, to be fair, for life in general. No one's an island, as they say, and we need to remember that we have family and friends, their colleagues and loved ones to help us and support us, and we need to offer support to them as well, of course. Anyway, that's kind of my little mini rant, I guess, or ramble, or whatever you want to call it. An extension, shall we say, of my musings that I like to throw out there on my website from time to time. Hopefully you've enjoyed, hopefully I haven't bored you too much, and I will aim to try and put together more videos, of course, in the not so distant future. Take care, everyone. Love to you all.